Lesson 32. Our new word is spectant, and it's the third-person plural form of specto. So now our chart is full, and we know all 6 present tense forms of specto. Spectant is very similar to sunt in that we need to decide if we need the word they that's included in the word spectant. So we have a little example sentence there to look at, agricolae lunam spectant, and in that sentence we have our new verb spectant, and we need to figure out if we need they or not. Will spectant mean they are watching, or will some other word in the sentence be the subject? Well, in this particular sentence, the word agricolae, farmers, is the subject, so we do not need the word they, and lunam is the direct object. So the sentence will read like this: the farmers are watching the moon. In our next example sentence, we have a slightly different situation, stellas spectant. In that sentence, again, we need to decide if we need the word they that's included in spectant. And in this sentence, we do need they because there's no other word to be the subject. So they is the subject, and the sentence will read like this: they are watching the stars. So we've been through this same process now with est, sunt, spectat, and spectant. And by now you may have noticed that all of the verbs that we have to make this choice with, the choice whether or not to use the pronoun that's included in the verb, you may have noticed that they're all third person. Est is third person, sunt is third person, spectat is third person, and spectant is third person. All of these third-person verbs require us to figure out if we need the pronoun or not, if we need he or the word they to properly translate the sentence, or does the sentence have another word that's the subject? So keep your eyes peeled and watch out for those third-person verbs. Let's take a look at our exercises. In number 1, we have our new verb for this lesson, spectant, and that means they are watching. And the direct object is poetas, poets. And in this sentence we do need the word they because there is no other word to be the subject. So they are watching the poets. In number 2 we have the same verb, spectant, but this time there's another word that's the subject, and that's poetae. So in this case we do not need the word they that's included in spectant. And our direct object is stellas. So number 2 reads like this: the poets are watching the stars. In number 3, we have 2 direct objects, and they are connected with the word et being used twice to mean both and our subject is nautai. So number 3 is the sailors are watching both the moon and the stars. In number 4, we have the second-person singular form of specto, which is spectas, and that means you are watching, and agricolam is our direct object. So number 4 is you are watching the farmer. In number 5, we have the optional word ego being used with specto. So ego specto means I am watching, and lunam is the direct object. So I am watching the moon. In number 6, we have the second-person plural form of specto, which is spectatis, and we'll translate that as y'all are watching. The direct object is nautam, so y'all are watching the sailor. In number 7, we have sunt, and we need to decide if we need the word they or not. In this case, there is no other word in the sentence to be the subject, so we do indeed need the word they. So we'll translate sunt as they are, and agricolae is the predicate, so they are farmers. In number 8, we have sum, which means I am, negated by the word non, and nauta is the predicate, so I am not a sailor. In number 9, s means you are, and agricola is the predicate, so you are a farmer. In number 10, we have the word est, but we do not need the word he because agricola is the subject. The structure of number 10 is subject, verb, predicate. The farmer is a poet.